Hi everyone, welcome to another table talk. So as the title says, in this video I just kind of wanted to go over what my plan is right now for different products and components that I'm going to be testing in 2019. Now I labeled it Take One because knowing myself it could change. I've already changed my sort of build plans for the year once already. If you haven't seen that video of what I'm planning on building, I'll have that linked down below. So some of the products that I'm going to talk about, I don't have yet. They have been ordered, or I'm waiting for them to come in stock so I can order them, or waiting until I have the money available to buy them. But I've looked at my budget for what I can buy for RC toys, and I think that I'll be able to eventually get them all and evaluate them all over the several months, probably for the rest of the year. So the links to everything I'm going to talk about will be down below, hopefully, if I remember. So please, if you're interested in looking at any of those, check those out. I just wanted to kind of do this video so that I know that some of the things that I've decided to pick up are based on recommendations from some of my loyal followers, so I thank you for that, for giving me the ideas. Hopefully, if you're waiting for one of these products to be evaluated, you'll be able to keep an eye on that. Okay, so let's get right into it. So servos, I haven't really tried any new servos in quite a long time. I've had just outstanding luck with RC timer servos, both in 9-gram and 5-gram servos. But in discussion with Ground Control RC, who I've been working on with the F22 Mini version 3, we're looking at trying to have a sort of a one-stop shopping list for that airplane to recommend when it's released. So I ordered up some, these are called GoTech GS 9018 9-gram micro servos. They actually look almost identical to the RC Timer 9-gram servos that I use now. So I'm going to be evaluating those actually in the F22 Mini. I'm building my beta right now, so I'll be putting those in there. Also, I wanted to look at some different 5-gram servos. I'm not really normally a big fan of Tower Pro servos, but they sell them as a bundle of 4 from Banggood. So these are the SG51R 5-gram servos. They look very, very similar to like the HXT 500 that you get from Hobby King. So we'll be giving those a try in one of my builds upcoming this year. Alright, so that's the servos. Batteries, I better tick these things off here so that I know that I've talked about them. Batteries, I'm going to be ordering the Tattoo 2300 3S 45C. I think I mentioned it in a video just recently that I want to evaluate. I've had outstanding luck with Tattoo batteries. This is a Tattoo 1050 3S 75C, which is pretty crazy C for its size, but I've been using this in testing the Ground Control RC F22 Mini V3. I'll have links to Ground Control RC's YouTube channel and his Patreon site down below. This has been proven to be a really super good battery, and I've also, you've seen me review this battery just recently, the Tattoo R-Line 1554S 75C. So I'm going to give that 2300 3S a try. It's a bit cheaper than the Gens Ace 2300 or 2200s that I'm using right now, and it also already comes with an XT60 connector on it. The Gens Ace batteries that I've been buying, they have the Dean's plug on them, so I have to snip that off and put an XT60 on there. So we're going to give those a try. Also the Tattoo Funfly 1550 milliamp 4S 100C. I think I mentioned this as well in a previous video. Most of the reviews that I've seen thus far have been pretty good, and again, it's a Tattoo battery, maybe sort of more their lower end. but you know, we're going to give that a try. I don't use 4S a lot, but they're certainly less expensive than these R-line, and they do have a higher C rating. Whether that C rating is any better than the R-line, we'll see. But so we're going to give those a try as well. Later on in the year. Okay, so that's servos and batteries. Speed controllers. I'm going to be experimenting with one new speed controller, or new to me anyway, the YEP or YEP 40 amp brushless ESC. And one of the main reasons that I went to try this was, for a while, this is the Turnigy AE 45 amp speed controller, which I've done reviews on in the past. It was an inexpensive, super good speed controller with lots of programmable features. For a while, that Hobby King had showed that they were discontinuing this. Now it just says it's out of stock, so I don't know if that means it's coming back. But anyway, long story short, I wanted to check this out and see how it will perform. I haven't done any bench testing or anything on it thus far. The main reasons that I did buy it is it has a lot of programmable features. So I picked up this programming card to go along with it. It has more programmable features, or more selections than, or different selections I should say, than the AE45. So we'll see if we can't play around with that and optimize the performance of the motors in my planes even more. It only has a 50 amp burst, so I'm suspecting that I'll be using it on 3S only. It does have a switching deck, which is good. That normally helps out to keep the heat buildup down. And I also mentioned the programming card. So I have to sit down and just run through some testing with this on the bench, trying out all the different features, several different selections for pulse width modulation frequency, 6 different selections, which is a lot more than other speed controllers that I've used, and 6 different timings. It actually goes up, you can select up to 30 degrees timing, which is higher than any other ESC that I'm currently using. So I'm interested to see if that's going to make a difference, squeeze that little bit of extra performance out. So I have bench tested the Turnigy AE 65 amp speed controller, this big beast right here. I found out about this one. Actually, I found out about the Turnigy AE line of ESCs from RC Plane Pirate. I'll have a link to his YouTube channel down below. So I've already done some bench testing with it using the exact same settings as I've found best success with the 45 amp, and no surprise, the performance out of the motor is exactly the same for both. The thing is, this gives me 20 amps more amp buffer for a motor that I'm going to talk about here shortly. That's going to be pretty amp hungry. So just in case I need to use that, it has a burst of up to 70 amps, whereas this is only a burst up to 50 amps, and the Hobby Wing Platinum Pro, which I use a lot, has only a burst up to 60 amps. So anyway, we'll test that, try that out if need be. The other thing is, I may also experiment. This is a Turnigy Plush 60 amp speed controller. This actually has a burst of up to 80 amps. So I'm going to experiment with this. It doesn't have anywhere near as many selections as these other speed controllers I've talked about. It only has 3 settings for timing: high, medium, and low. So I'm going to look at what difference there will be with high timing to squeeze some more performance. And again, I would be using this just because it has a very high amp rating. Now, unfortunately, these are considerably heavy. They're about 25 to 30 grams heavier than this one. But if I need to for my 100-mile-an-hour project, then that might be a compromise that I might have to make in order to be able to run the motor. Okay, so that's the speed controllers. Now I don't have any of these motors, excuse me. 3 of them I have on order, so they should be here anytime. The biggest one that I'm excited to experiment with is the Brother Hobby Speed Shield 2207.5 3400 kV motor. I've never experimented with a motor with that high kV. 2750 or 2800, I guess, the Sunny Sky Edge 2305 2800 is probably the highest that I've experimented with. Well, the Eagle Power 2888, but that didn't really, I don't think that was a 2888 kV motor. So anyway, so I'm pretty excited about that. I found this, discovered it on Engineer X's YouTube channel. I'll have a link to his YouTube channel and the specific video down below. I'm going to start off, I probably just experimenting with the King Kong 6040 prop, which he evaluated. With his gear, he was getting over 1,600 grams of thrust on 3S, which is just crazy. It's like 300 grams, 400 grams more than any other motor that I've personally tested. Of course, very amp hungry. So I'll probably also experiment with the 6x4 EPC gas. In the air, I know that this prop doesn't quite flatten out as much as this King Kong 6040. Amp draw obviously is going to be the long pole in the tent there with respect to the speed controller. I don't think I'll have too many problems with my batteries, but we'll see how that goes, and maybe even we'll see if I can run on 4S the 6x3 EMP prop. I will also have some 2 and 3 bladed quad props that I'll experiment, but I'm not going to talk about those right now because I don't know what what I'm going to need when I start experimenting with that. So anyway, I'm pretty excited about that. I think that that's going to be a real beast of a motor. So we'll see. I'm excited to get that one. Another one that I've looked at is called the Flywoo NIN 2306 2750. 2306 2750 has kind of been my favorite size of motor. I've just found that that's kind of the real sweet spot to spin the props that I like with the speed controllers and batteries that I have. Excuse me, so we'll give this one a try. I discovered this one watching a Kebab FPV video. One of the things that he mentioned is it seems to have they seem to have put a slightly larger bearing race in it in comparison to other motors, so I'm interested to see if that's actually the case, compared to some of the other motors that I use. So I'm interested to see how that's going to fit in, with the Kebab RC, the RC in power, which are, probably the top power motors that I'm using right now. So yeah, we're going to pick one of those up. It's out of stock right now, so we'll just wait and see. When that comes back into stock, we'll order it. Another one that I found watching Kebab FPV is called the iFlight. I think it's pronounced Sing, although it's Xing. 2306 2750 motor. He mentioned that it was a really good motor, and what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of interested in doing a bit of a showdown. I've ordered it in 2306 2750, and they also have an iFlight Sing 2207 2750. So I'm interested in doing kind of a showdown. I've only used, in all of my quad motor testing, I used the, it's an RC timer motor anyway. It's a 2207 2780 or 2870. I apologize for not being able to remember. B rotor, that's it. B rotor, Z 2207 2780. Yeah. So anyway, I'll have a link to that below. I apologize. It was a really good motor, but it didn't have sort of the curved magnets and all that sort of stuff that most of the motors do. So what I'm interested in is doing a head-to-head because they're both from the same company, iFlight, and they both have the same KV, but different size stators. So just volume-wise, a 2207 has a slightly larger volume stator than a 2306, but so we're going to see. I'm gonna do a bit of a of a fly off, I guess, if you want, between those two size motors because they're from the same vendor, same manufacturer, and have the same KV, and we'll see on the bench and at the field which one wins. You know, like I said, I've been a big fan of 2306, 2750 motors already, but who knows, maybe that 2207 motor will have a little bit more. So yeah, I'm interested in doing that. Alright, so props. Few props that I know I'm going to be testing, and again, I may have to play around with some props with the Brother Hobby Speed Shield 2207.5 3400 kV motor, because you know I'm going to be outside of my comfort zone there. Some of these props again are based on recommendations from from some of you great YouTube followers, so I very much appreciate that. So I've ordered up the GemFan Flash 6042 bi-blade, two-bladed prop. So we'll see how that compares with the little bit of extra pitch, 4.2 pitch, compares with the 6x4 or King Kong 6040 and the 6x4 APC gas. So I've ordered up some of those to try out. Again, probably on 3S on most of my motors. In 3-blade, because I think, you know, based on what I've seen thus far with my tail mount park jets, my FRC Foamies F18 and the F22, FRC Foamies F22 that I'm going to be building later this year, I think that those are a really good choice of prop for the tail mount. So I've ordered up a GemFan Hurricane 51499, so I'm assuming that that's a 5.1 diameter, 4.99 pitch tri-blade prop to try out. I've also ordered up a GemFan Flash 5152 tri-blade prop, so we'll see again how that goes. Again, probably just on 3S, but maybe on 4S, depending, I'm not sure. So one prop that I have received and I've bench tested already, this is an HQ durable 5.1 by 5.1 prop. The bench numbers are really good thus far, although it is amp hungry. I have, if you've watched previous videos, you know, I've already benched and test flown. This is the Dalprop Cyclone 5050. This has been an excellent prop on my tail mount FRC Foamies F18, so really impressed with that. This prop on 3S is turning out about 100 grams more thrust at full throttle, and on 4S 150 grams more thrust, obviously with quite a bit more amp draw. So I'll have a link to my my motor mount spreadsheet down below that you can check out. I tested them, bench tested them on the RC InPower, the 2306 2750. So if you go there, scroll across the bottom until you find the tab for that motor, you can click on it and see the results. I was actually quite surprised because on the bench it pulled on 4S, it pulled 67 amps, and I was using the Hobby Wing Platinum Pro speed controller, which is rated for 60 amps at a burst, but it let the thing pull that many amps, and it didn't blow up or smoke or anything. So anyway, I might have to play around with one of these other speed controllers as well. So in the air, obviously it won't pull that much. It'll probably be down closer to 50 to 55 amps. But yeah, so based on what I've seen here on the bench, I'm excited about the GemFan Flash 5152 and the GemFan Hurricane 51499 tri-blade props as options on the tail mount park jets. And again, there may be some other tri-blades of lower pitch that I might have to look at for using with the Speed Shield 3400 kV motor. Yeah, so there we go, folks. That's take one of the components that I'll be testing. Obviously, I can put some of these on the builds that I have coming up. Like I mentioned, I'll probably evaluate these GoTech GS9018 servos on the Ground Control RC F22 Mini that I'm building right now, and perhaps on the intermediate park jet build, the modified SU30 version 4 from RC Powers. I will evaluate these Tower Pro SG51R servos and see how they perform. Yeah, so there we go, folks. A lot of gabbing as usual. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of the stuff here to hold up, but I will be reviewing those at the field on different planes as those come in. Really excited about that speed shield. That's going to be kind of unknown territory for me. Playing around with a motor with such high KV, so hopefully I won't hurt myself or hurt any of my planes. So there we go. Thanks as always for watching. Blue skies, calm winds to everyone. Park jet noise, the other sound of freedom, baby. Take care.